This is the hardest track in Gran Turismo 7. This one is the easiest. Today, we're gonna work ourselves up from the easiest track to the hardest track. Let's go. Special Stage Route X is by far the easiest track in Gran Turismo 7, because if you look at the actual track, it's basically just a straight. So we're gonna change car real quick to the fastest car in the game. So we're gonna do one lap in the fastest car in the game around this track, because this track, even though it's just straights, it's still a pretty long track. My wheel is shaking like crazy right now. I'm gonna turn my force feedback down a bit. Force feedback, let's turn it down to like 3. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Also, we have overtake in this car, which if you look at the car, there's like flaps on it and stuff that move when you turn. But if you press R3 on the wheel, that's crazy, bro. They just all go away. Gran Turismo's playing Christmas music. That's wild. This has got to be the second easiest. It's still just like an oval, but it's a lot shorter, so it's like actually an oval rather than just 2 lines connected by a corner. But it is a very tight oval, so yeah, these corners have a lot of camber. All right, we're going. Oh, a little wall tap, and that's a full lap. 21 seconds in this car. But now we're getting into some intense stuff. Left and right turns. Prepare yourself. For this next track, I'm going to be using a Group 3 car. This is one of my favorite tracks in Gran Turismo. It is Interlagos. It's a Brazilian track. It's had plenty of Formula 1 races on it, and its corners are very unique. It's very different from the previous two, in the sense that you have to like brake and turn. It is a lot more difficult, but it is a lot more fun having to brake and take lines and stuff. Get that late apex there. Yes, sir. Yeah, Interlagos is definitely a lot more fun than the previous two. But alright, let's move on to our next track. And this track is Laguna Seca. This was my favorite track by far until I discovered the other track on this list that's even better. But this one is a lot harder than Interlagos. The corners aren't necessarily harder, but it's this right here, the elevation change, and how wide I'm taking these corners. A 129.2, but that lap sucked, and I think I could do a lot better. Come on, there we go. 6/10 up, 8/10 up, a second up. All right, 1.9 seconds up, a 127.3. We got to move on to our next track, which is my favorite track in Gran Turismo. Here's a hint. It's in Germany. I present to you the greatest racetrack ever created, the Nürburgring. On to the Nordschleife. All the corners on this track feel so good when you get them right. Now we're just gonna lift off the throttle a little bit through here and brake at the end of the curbing. I know this track too well. I've probably driven it 1,000 times. Oh, right on the edge there. Now we're coming up to something very unique to the Nürburgring. The carousel. The carousel kind of marks halfway in the circuit. The first half is long, sweeping corners. The second half is a little bit tighter, more technical corners. But they're just as fun. We're coming up to the final corner here. And there you have it. 7:15 flat. A full lap of the greatest track in the world. But not the hardest track in the world. That track is Mount Panorama, also known as Bathurst. Let me show you why this is the hardest track in Gran Turismo 7. Coming down into turn 1, you brake at the 100 board if you're going full speed, and then look how bumpy this is. And every corner on this track, well, like 90% of them, are exactly like that. They're so bumpy. If you go on the accelerator just a little bit too much around this corner, you're dead. Break up with a 100 board again. Look how bumpy that is, bro. Break up the 100 board again. That seems to be a common theme across this track. And then you come up to this. It's a corner, and then another blind corner. It's called cutting, I think, is the name of that corner. And then, oh, be careful on the curbs, bro. But yeah, you have to drive so far under the limit on this track. See, you could take that flat out if you get the right line. But if you don't get the right line, you're hitting the wall. And then this whole section is just going down the mountain. The weight transfer is just wildly off. And then we got this long straight where you think you can relax, but there's a little surprise at the end of it. Brake at the 100 board. Nope, brake at the 150 board. Alright, I'm not starting a new lap. I'm just turning around to do that again. Brake at the, I guess, the 100 board now that we're going too slow. And then this sketchy, bumpy corner is what you got to go through. Sometimes side by side with another car. Most of the time side by side, because right after the straight. And that's why I hate this track. So that's my list of the easiest to the most difficult track on Gran Turismo 7. If you want to try these out, go ahead. You could comment down below what your lap times were. If you think there's any tracks that are more difficult or that I left out, also comment down below. Let me know. Also, if you want to see these kind of videos live, follow my Twitch at twitch.tv/DylanLanham_YT. So I will see you there or in my next video. Goodbye.